All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to a daily update of my 1000 day challenge. This is day 133. So let's get things started. All right, so first and foremost, the balance remains the same as yesterday. Actually, there's been a couple of trades that's been closed today. So there will be a change in terms of both my main and my experimental trade setup. I haven't yet to update the setup and results yet. So basically, that's why I don't see a difference. And I'll be doing a quick one tomorrow morning itself. All right, in terms of the market structure, because today is already quite late, the market is already open. In terms of what I see on the S&P 500 based on yesterday wise, things are potentially looking bearish in the short term wise, because we have gone quite parabolic in the short term sense. So potentially there are people taking profit off the table. So potentially we could retest this 20 exponential moving average as this 3,600 region in the sense. And yeah, so I'm just waiting both in terms of S&P 500 and also for Nasdaq, even though we do make a higher high. I don't think we did make, we make a lower in that sense, or even here. That is the bearish divergence you can see on the MACD. That means we are actually losing momentum in a certain sense. And potentially we could also trigger a short-term retracement, like over here, whereby we tick below, and then we got a short-term retracement before we tick back upwards again. And similarly over here, we have a tick from here, and then we went down over here as well. So yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm asking you to sell over here and buy over here, but that's still going to be more expensive, which is why it's about the dollar cost averaging approach. So when it goes over here, it's more for opportunity to add in terms of long-term investment wise. And for ASHR, similarly, same thing. There's a bearish kind of momentum. In fact, the main odd thing I would say is actually KWEB. You'll notice that KWEB is actually performing opposite-wise. We're retesting 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. So things are really looking bullish for the KWEB itself. So for the tech stock in China, things are looking really great. And each time we're making higher highs, higher high, higher high. And similarly, higher low, and higher low. And similarly, same high. So overall, it's looking really bullish. So if I were to add right now, the only indices that are actually KWEB itself, even though it's at a high, because potentially we could break up and have much stronger momentum towards the upside. But the only thing that's stopping me right now to add ahead of them is because the 3 other indices is looking bearish in the short-term sense. So potentially I'm still thinking that KWEB could follow the rest, but obviously it could just act on its own as well. Yeah, so the tech stock in China market does look a little bit stronger than the rest of the market. And finally, for Bitcoin itself, on the daily chart, it still looks to be bearish. We are forming clearly lower highs and lower low. That's very clear. We haven't found a support yet on the daily chart. However, on the hourly chart, we potentially could have a short-term support in that sense. You can see over here, and you'll be much more clearly seen over here on the candlestick pattern itself. So candlestick pattern, we have a very nice bullish engulfing candlestick. The only thing that makes me a little less bullish is the fact that we don't really have much strong volumes in terms of the green candlestick over here, and price is going to close in another 22 more minutes. So even though I could potentially enter long immediately over here, in terms of price action wise, I want a more confirmation and clarity wise. So I want a formation of like a small pullback and then a break upwards. It goes to show that the buyers are very eager to enter in and not letting the sellers step in, not waiting for the sellers to sell and potentially push it lower, but instead just buying in and going above this small little high that could potentially form. Otherwise, that's more or less about it. So that could be a potential, which is why I say that will be the potential bullish market structure formation for long setup. Alternatively, if it breaks upwards over here and I don't see a good setup, what I will see is if there's over this high over here, if there's a nice consolidation form over here, and then it breaks above, that's where potentially I could enter a long setup with this target over here around 19,000 mark. And with a break of above here, 18,450. So you need to have a very tight stop loss in order to make it possible, which means it may or may not be a good setup at all. So depending on the risk to reward, the potential of it forming nicely, etc., before I make a call on whether this price action will play out nicely. So otherwise, things still looks bearish because price is remaining below even the 20 exponential moving average in that sense. And yep, so that's more or less the quick update I have for you guys today. No new major setup that I will enter, but otherwise, that's more or less about it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.